Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. I don't think I'm alone when I say that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been quietly plotting their next big move for quite some time now. And let's be honest, the current landscape of the AFC North is evolving at a rapid pace. We've seen the Cincinnati Bengals improve significantly, Joe Burrow's emergence as an elite quarterback, and the Baltimore Ravens continuously trying to rebuild around their rushing attack and Lamar Jackson's potential return. But what's really catching everyone's attention now is this bombshell rumor that's been floating around. And it's about Aaron Rodgers, yes, the legendary quarterback himself, and his influence on the Steelers' roster plans for 2025. Imagine that, Aaron Rodgers, the future Hall of Famer, demanding a specific wide receiver to be signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It might sound like a Hollywood script, but in today's NFL, anything is possible, especially when you have a player of Rodgers' caliber involved. So let's unpack this story step by step, because it's not just about Rodgers wanting a new weapon. It's about the strategic shift that could reshape the Steelers' offense, and by extension, their entire trajectory in the AFC. First, it's important to understand that Rodgers, who's been a symbol of excellence and resilience over his illustrious career, is reportedly eyeing a move to Pittsburgh, with sources hinting that he's already pushing for the Steelers to sign a particular free agent wide receiver, none other than Amari Cooper. Now, Cooper's name might ring a bell for those who follow the league closely. He's a veteran with a proven track record, but his recent seasons haven't been as spectacular as when he first burst onto the scene. After spending time with the Dallas Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, and most recently the Buffalo Bills, Cooper is now a free agent, and he's looking for a fresh start. This is where things get interesting, because the Steelers, always looking to upgrade their passing game, are apparently very interested in adding a player like Cooper. They've been exploring multiple options this offseason, from trade talks involving Dolphins, tight end Jonnu Smith to hosting free agents like Gabe Davis for visits. But adding a player like Amari Cooper would be a statement move, a veteran presence, a reliable route runner, and someone who can create separation and open up opportunities for the young quarterbacks or even Mason Rudolph, who's still waiting for his shot to prove himself as a starter. And let's not forget, after trading away George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, the Steelers are somewhat thin at wide receiver. Cooper's arrival could fill that void and then some. Now, here's the kicker. The rumor suggests that Rodgers himself is not just passively interested, but is actively influencing the Steelers' front office, demanding they pursue Cooper. It's a bold move, but if there's one thing we know about Rodgers over the years, it's his ability to mold his team around his vision, to demand certain players, and to be a true leader on and off the field. Remember, Rodgers has always been a guy who values precision, route running, and playmaking ability, qualities that Cooper has in abundance. Even at nearly 31, Cooper remains a solid, dependable target, capable of helping move the chains and taking pressure off other receivers like DK Metcalf, who's been the star of that offense. Speaking of DK Metcalf, the Seahawks star has become a focal point of the Steelers' passing attack in recent years, especially with the team's desire to build around a dynamic, explosive offense. But adding Cooper would give the Steelers a more nuanced, versatile receiving core, capable of attacking defenses in multiple ways. This kind of move would also send a message to the AFC that the Steelers are serious about competing with the likes of the Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals, who have all invested heavily in their offensive weapons. Think about it. With Cooper's experience, his ability to create yards after the catch, and his knack for clutch catches in tight situations, he could be the missing piece that elevates Pittsburgh's offense to a new level. Now, let's take a quick detour to look at Cooper's career a little more closely, because it's quite impressive. Over his 10 seasons in the league, he's amassed over 700 receptions, more than 10,000 receiving yards, and 64 touchdowns. That's production that speaks for itself. His first few years in Oakland, he was a Pro Bowler, and he continued to be a reliable target during his stint with the Cowboys. Even after being traded to the Browns and later moving to the Bills, Cooper has maintained a high level of performance, though last year's numbers, 44 catches for 547 yards, reflect a bit of inconsistency and perhaps a change in offensive schemes. Still, the talent is undeniable, and a team like the Steelers, with their rich history of developing receivers, could be the perfect landing spot for him. What does this mean for the Steelers' upcoming season? Well, it's a game changer. If Rodgers truly has a say in this, and if the Steelers can land Cooper, then their offense could look completely different. Picture a scenario where a veteran quarterback like Rodgers, with his ability to read defenses and extend plays, is throwing to a receiver who's known for his precise routes and big play ability. The chemistry could develop quickly, and the Steelers' passing game might finally be what fans have been hoping for: a balance of power running, creative play calling, and a potent aerial attack. Of course, it's not just about adding Cooper. The Steelers will continue to evaluate other options, and their draft strategy might shift based on this move. They might look to bolster their offensive line to give Rodgers or any quarterback better protection, or they might even explore the draft for a young receiver to develop alongside Cooper and DK Metcalf. But make no mistake, the emphasis is clear. The Steelers are trying to build a competitive, versatile, and explosive offense that can challenge the very best in the AFC. And let's not forget, the AFC is stacked. The Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes, are always in the title hunt. The Bills, with Josh Allen, are relentless. The Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, are ascending. The Ravens, depending on Jackson's health, are always a threat. So, for the Steelers, making a bold move for a veteran like Cooper could be the difference between a playoff appearance and a deep run into January. It's about making strategic, high-impact decisions, and if Rodgers has a say, then you can bet the Steelers will be all in. Now, I want to take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. The Steelers have always been known for their strong defense, physicality, and a solid running game. But in recent years, the passing attack has been inconsistent, partly due to injuries, inconsistent quarterback play, and sometimes just a lack of a true WR1. If they pull off this move and bring in Cooper, it could revitalize the entire offense, give Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph a true weapon to throw to, and help balance the team. Plus, it sends a message to the league that Pittsburgh is not just content with being a solid team, they want to be contenders again. Now I know some of you might be thinking, wait, Rodgers and Cooper together. That's a fantasy, right? Well, in today's NFL, with the ever-changing landscape of free agency, trades, and player demands, nothing should be ruled out. Remember, Rodgers has always been a quarterback who values talent and chemistry, and Cooper, with his route running and experience, could be exactly what he needs to make that final push for another Super Bowl appearance. And speaking of Super Bowls, the Steelers have a storied history of success in this league. 6 Lombardi trophies, a legacy built on defense, hard-nosed football, and clutch performances. They're always looking to add that extra piece to push them over the edge. Whether it's a draft pick, a free agent signing, or a trade, the goal remains the same: rebuild, retool, and chase that championship. Now, as we look at the current roster, there are still questions about who will be the starting quarterback come 2025. Mason Rudolph is still waiting in the wings, and the team has not yet made a definitive move to bring in a veteran. If Rodgers is indeed involved and influences the decision to sign Cooper, it could also signal that the Steelers are preparing to make a bold quarterback move in the offseason or draft. Either way, the future looks intriguing, and the fan base is buzzing with anticipation. Let's also talk about the draft. The Steelers have a lot of picks this year, and their front office has shown a willingness to be aggressive in acquiring talent. If they can add a top-tier wide receiver in the draft alongside a free agent like Cooper, it would give them a formidable passing attack. And with Rodgers possibly at the helm, that offense could be unstoppable. The combination of veteran leadership, young talent, and strategic moves could set the stage for a very exciting season. Now, before I wrap up this deep dive, I want to emphasize that everything I've shared today is based on rumors, insider reports, and the current trajectory of the Steelers' offseason plans. But one thing is clear: the Steelers are not sitting still. They're actively trying to rebuild and retool, and if these rumors turn out to be true, we could be witnessing one of the most exciting transformations in recent Steelers history. So, Steelers fans, what do you think about all this? Do you believe Rodgers can influence the front office to pursue Cooper? Would adding a veteran like him take the Steelers to the next level? How do you see this impacting their quest for another Super Bowl? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below because your opinions matter so much to us and to this great franchise. Remember, this is a team that's built on resilience, passion, and a relentless desire to win. And with moves like these, they're clearly aiming for that next Lombardi trophy. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're on this journey together, and it's an exciting time to be a Steelers fan. Whether it's free agency, draft prospects, or trade rumors, we'll keep you informed and engaged. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Steelers!